Hey guys, I'm making a lot of videos lately, so it's time for another summer movie review, this time of How to Train Your Dragon 2. I was really looking forward to this movie because I loved the first How to Train Your Dragon. I didn't think I was going to, because I caught it like after it was out on DVD, and the only reason I saw it was just because everyone and their dog said, oh, it's such a good movie. It was just a really good movie. I didn't read a single bad review for this movie, and then I saw it, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I'll just see it just because everyone says it's good. And I was surprised how much I loved it. It was just such a well done story, well done characters. The action was well done. It was just well done all around. I loved it. I thought it was one of the best movies of that year. So now I got How to Train Your Dragon 2, and let me just say right off the bat, this is a good movie, but it's not as good as the first, and which I was really let down by. I wasn't not let down. I don't think that's the right word, but I was expecting something that was as good as the first. This is a bit of a step backwards, but it's still a well done, very respectable movie on top of that. So but something that kind of bugged me about this movie was the fact that there's a lot of it kind of juggles between kid friendly antics, really like a lot of visual sight gags that really appeal to kids. There were a lot of kids in my screening who really enjoyed the movie. And then there's some stuff that's kind of like the first movie that's a little more edgier, a little more adult, a little darker. This is actually some really dark stuff in this movie, even for DreamWorks, who normally has some really more darker adult-oriented kids movies. And normally I don't like when movies, especially movies like this, juggle family and kid and family-friendly and adult antics into the same thing. Normally I don't think that meshes very well. It kind of works here, because the switch there's a certain point in the movie where there's a dark turn, and the dark turn is handled very, very well. And it was very well executed, and it was actually pretty effective. So I think that's why I kind of give it a pass. But the reason I'm saying this isn't as good as the first is that when I was watching the first movie, I was like, I was so riveted. I was like, I do not want this movie to end. This movie is just so good. It only got better. The more I watched, the better it got. I wish this movie would go on forever, because I just want to keep watching these guys and keep watching this movie over and over and over again. I literally could do it all night. When I was watching How to Train Your Dragon 2, there's a scene probably a little in the last, at the start of the third act, there's this huge action scene. And as I'm watching this action scene, I was thinking, is this the end of the movie? And then it's not the end of the movie, and then they have another action scene after that. And I was like, okay, you probably could have ended this movie a few minutes ago. You can probably wrap it up now. So that's one of the reasons why I'm saying it's not as good as the first, is that it wasn't as furiously good as the first. I keep calling the first a furiously good movie because it just never stopped being good. This one had a couple moments that kind of did take me out of the movie a little bit. It's still a good movie. It's still absolutely worth seeing. And it has a lot of really good elements to it, especially Cate Blanchett as Hiccup's mother. She was a really good character. She was very well written, very well acted. And there was a lot of scenes between her and Hiccup where I really bought that they were mother and son. It was very realistic. There's even some good scenes between her and Hiccup's father. Where okay, I buy these two have a connection. This is really well done here, and I really invested in that. And visually, it has some really good stuff. I did see it in 3D, which I did not see the first movie in 3D, because like I said, it was on DVD. And it did look really good in 3D, and there's some really good, very natural camera work. There's a lot of good camera work in this movie. It felt very real. It felt like, for a second, there were some scenes where I forgot I was watching an animated movie. It looked very real, like they really did film this, which is really good if an animated movie can do that. But it is a little smarter and more adult than most kids' movies, which is more than I can say for that Paddington movie. They played that ad for the movie, and I got dumber while watching that. I'm gonna be avoiding that movie like the plague, because it would just... God, I don't even want to think about that trailer. It was so bad. But yeah, I give How to Train Your Dragon 2 an 8 out of 10. It's a great movie. it's well done. It's a good sequel. But I don't think it was as good as the first. I think as a follow up to such an amazing movie, it had a couple issues. But on its own, standing on its own, I thought it was a good movie and had a lot of really good things to like about it. So that's all I got. And friends, you just have an out.